feels like to write a book, especially a long novel. I've been trying to think of a metaphor, simile, analogy, whatever, synecdoche to describe it. And I think the best way for me to describe it is it's like building a pier out into the sea. Writing a novel is not a bridge because it doesn't actually arrive anywhere. It's always an undertaking. You just merely stop at one point. But actually, it's like building a pier. And for me, for the first sort of almost 15, 20, 30,000 words, you're building a pier out over the sea without any support whatsoever. It's almost like a platform that you feel any moment is going to crash into the ocean. But as you keep building, rather than sort of, as it would in physics, just tip into the sea, somehow it creates its own supports. And I think that's because, certainly in the way I write, once I'm sort of, 3,000 words in, I go back to the beginning, I work through those 3,000, and then I get to 4,000, so I go back to the beginning, and I get through to 5,000. And it builds out and out and out, and then slowly out, let's say, sort of 15, 20, sometimes 30,000 words, which it can be a third of the way through. You suddenly feel the pier, the platform is on firmer ground. And then miraculously, you look out from the end of the pier where you are, 30 meters out over the sea, as it were, and those supports begin to rise up, and then you're building on supports, which is what you would normally do in the first place. I know this is getting a little convoluted, but it's kind of how it feels. It feels for a long time you're building on nothing, but it's not only nothing. It's not building on air. It's if it was to collapse, it would be a kind of almost be mortal. And so, but we do it in order that by some miracle, when the thing starts to solidify in our mind, when the characters become more solid, where the narrative gains momentum, that is when the thing gets the supports. But you can't put the supports in first. I mean, that's not true. I mean, some people, I think, write with such a strong plan that they've essentially plotted their pier right into the ocean, right to the end, and then they merely build on top of that. And, that's fine, but somehow I feel there's too much safety in there. And creating art is not about organization in that way, I don't think. I think it's more, as I've said about another book, it's more, to mix metaphors, a high wire act, and for a lot of the time, without a net. I don't think great art is ever made with a safety net underneath it. And I think novels that have that kind of structure, you can feel it. And it's often said that if you can teach a novel, if a novel is good for teaching creative writing, it's not a very good novel, because essentially you can destructure it, put it on a PowerPoint slide, and teaching, you can kind of find the bricks and the joins and the stuff. Whereas if you can't, it's because something slightly miraculous, if not mystical, has gone on. So that's it. Writing a novel is a bit like building a pier out into the ocean without any support. Thank you.